Game 2 of State of Origin will be held in Perth this year, with thousands of fans expected to flock to the West Australian capital.
It will be the first time, barring a 1980s exhibition in LA, an Origin match has been played outside of the eastern states of Australia.
You heard it. I spoke with WA Tourism Minister Paul Papalia, who is predicting a sellout crowd.
You may be surprised to hear there's a very strong league fraternity in Western Australia. We got plenty of people who, came from New South Wales and Queensland during the boom years and stayed because this is the best state to live. We also have plenty of Kiwis and Brits, and a lot of league people from right around the world have made their home in Western Australia, and it'll be a sellout for sure.
In terms of dollars, what does Game 2 of Origin mean not only for Perth, but I guess for the rest of the state as well?
Yeah, what we hope will happen is thousands of people from interstate will come, and not just come to the game, they'll come for a little bit of extra time and get into Perth. It's a magnificent place now. We have the best, most affordable hotels in the country now. The whole place has changed, and we can hope they'll go out to the regions and have a look at what Western Australia has to offer. But it'll be well over $10 million, well north of $10 million in return for the state.
Well, we know over this side of the country you either bleed blue or maroon. How many tourists are you expecting to make the trip to Perth?
Well, we think there's around 12,000 tickets have been sold to people from outside Western Australia, and that's a good return. This stadium is the best stadium in the country. It can hold up to around 60,000, and I think for this game, that will be close to what we get.
It's remarkable given up in Queensland they missed out on that sellout. But as you said, 60,000 seats, $1.8 billion. How has Optus Stadium increased tourism in Perth and I suppose the ability to hold some absolutely fantastic sporting events?
Well, it's obviously given us more capacity than Subiaco had, so it's another 15,000, 20,000 people. But more importantly, it's a brand new stadium. It's world class, and that enables us to attract quality events of this nature and others. And beyond that, the real thing about getting people to come here is about selling the place and getting out and selling the message, and that's what we've got to do. So people don't just come because you have a stadium. You've got to go and let them know about it. There's got to be great deals around flight costs and packaging around hotels, and hospitality outlets and all of our tourism offerings. We've got all of that now, and we're absolutely focused on attracting people from the eastern states and around the world to come and see Western Australia.
You don't do a bad drop of wine there, I've got to admit that too. But I was reading when it comes to the stadium itself that the staff have all been trained to this process of turning over, an overnight turnover, I should say, because this facility, we can host so many different events.
That's right, and the beautiful thing about this event, the NRL have done the right thing. It's on a weekend, so that enables it's easier for people to travel and maybe take a couple of extra days off and stay in Western Australia for a few days and experience what we have to offer. Not far from the stadium, just a ferry ride away, is one of the nation's premium wine producing sites in the Swan Valley, and they hopefully can nip out to Rottnest and do what Chris Hemsworth did and get a quokka selfie as well.
Well, on a bit more of a serious matter, there's been a lot of concern about the condition of the playing surface, and there's been a lot of talk about it from the AFL clubs. What's the latest?
Yeah, look, there is a lot of talk around. I'm not responsible for that stadium and the surface. The stadium management are very concerned about it. They're only concerned about what people are saying. They'll respond, no doubt, to the inquiries by the NRL. I understand they've asked about some of the surface conditions. It looks magnificent, and plenty of people play there and there aren't any issues, but if there are any concerns, I'm sure the stadium will be addressing them.
I'm sure it's almost expected when it comes to a new stadium that there will be these type of teething issues.
Yeah, I think that may be the case. They do different things with, there's a real science now getting these grounds to being ready for top-tier events, and they're always working on them. They were doing it during the cricket season as well, and it's just an ongoing basis. So I'm sure it is a magnificent place. It's one of the best, if not the best, stadiums in the country for any event now. And I'm sure they'll get things right.
Well, it will be awash with blue and maroon in no time. Are you keen to host top-tier sporting events in Perth more often, or what do you have coming up?
Well, look, I've got to say, we are about to have the biggest winter of sports in Western Australian history. So we've got this magnificent second state of origin, the one that really counts, getting to determine whether the third one does. We then have the Bledisloe Cup. That is a sellout, and I'm sure there's plenty of people from over east coming over for that. And then we have a real coup. We've got Manchester United and Leeds United coming for a 10-day training camp, a proper training camp, the full team, a series of ticketed events, 2 games, one Leeds United and Manchester United, and then Perth Glory paying Manchester United as well. An incredible lineup. Coincidentally, there's a replay of the AFL Grand Final right around that time too. So we're going to have a winter like no other, and this is the place to come if people want to see top-tier sport this winter.